Hello YouTube and a Magicraid community, Gandalf here. I got a very special video for you today, and no, I'm not giving away any gems or anything, even though we're on the screen. I'm about to share with you how to really evaluate packs in this game and really get your money's worth. Um, Knowing my viewer base, I think majority of you, I would say 95% or more probably, spend less than $100 per week on the game. Um, for the Krakens out there, you spend however you like. Just really enjoy yourself, right? But for the majority of the viewers, I think of you, that's those of you that actually spent, would like to really get your money's worth. I feel like last time I released a similar guide to this, I don't feel like I was detailed enough, nor did I give any sort of detailed methodology. Today I'm going to be presenting to you my method in terms of how to evaluate whether or not packs are worth it. This is really collected on data based on all the different offers we have gotten in the past 2 to 3 months or so. I think the packs that we see right now are more reflective of what is the pricing we expect to see in the future. And really, in general, a rule of thumb is most of these are priced to things that at a 1,000% discount. At near the end of the video, I will go over all the packs that in the game that are always on, that are actually kind of worth buying, but I'll quickly go over all the things that are trapped right now. So for example, diamonds, don't get them. Red diamonds, they're not worth it anymore. At some point with the black market, they were somewhat relevant, and with auctions, but they're just not worth it anymore for the average player. Growth Fund is still valuable, but you should only buy it once you hit level 100, which will take you almost a year, or if not more. Monthly card is still a win. Period pack, every single one of these is a trap. Maybe this one if you're desperate, but I would still say, like, this is based on the the formula I have behind me, which I'll go through in detail with you. This is the only one that passes the check of all the packs here. This one barely passes it. In here, the only thing you should ever buy is if you're really desperate for a miracle pack and you really want that hero, get this, but it's still not your money's worth. What you really should be doing is just gradually saving up a lot of gems to buy miracle runes if you're a typical player. This is still a very Kraken option. But if it's your birthday and you got like won a small lottery, or you got a bonus and you really want to just splurge and treat yourself, and you really want that limited hero that just came out and you didn't save enough, you might tap into this. But this is a very slippery slope, I tell you. This is not something you would typically buy. The only thing you should ever buy in this entire flash pack that ever comes out is the voyage pack. So whether that be the skating event, the trio, or the tiles, whichever one's going to give you that limited hero, and you should be aiming to finish it with only the use of either the $50 pack or the $70 pack. This allows you get a limited hero for a total of 60, I think either $66 or $86. You'll be grabbing the value packs. Value packs, sometimes you get the odd one, but usually you're aiming for the ones from Voyage. Like even this is something I would avoid. Special pack is the only place, if you're having a budget of 100 or less, is where you shop. All right, so these ones that usually come out, I will grab them for $5, right? This is kind of the benchmark baseline. If it's Miracle, maybe I'll grab it for $1. The Voyage ones usually you will get. The room pack is highly questionable. The special pack depends on what you're looking for. For example, in this one, I would say value-wise, it's all there. I simply don't have enough voucher, and I don't want to put any money in it because I don't want to ruin the progress on the account by injecting additional money, which will mislead my viewers in terms of where your account is at. Because I want to really show you what $100 a month budget will get you, just so that like, if you want to be at this level of competitiveness, this is the minimum you have to spend. So please don't fall into the trap of watching content creators and say, like, I want to be just like you, and then not realizing how much you have to spend. Don't fall into these traps, right? Like, so that's why I'm not, I'm not putting any additional dollars into here just so that we don't ever get into that situation where you're misled in terms of how much really has been invested into this account. Okay, I think I talked enough. Let's go into the details here. So first off the bat, I think a lot of you kind of realize what a limited hero is worth. A limited hero is worth around $80 is where I kind of price tagged it at. If you just want a limited hero, don't get it through this event. This is not the money's worth place of getting it because the better way of getting it is just simply wait for one of those special events that come around that allow you to whether it be spinning wheels or whatever. Those can usually be a little bit cheaper than trying to buy it. Sorry, we just had the game refresh, so it's a lot of stuff popping up. Like something like this, you're buying a lot of stuff that you might not value or want. End of the day, remember, all of these things are pixels, right? They're not real. And gacha games is a form of entertainment. All of our hobbies cost money. I was talking with some people in World Chat today, and people are like, $5,000 on your budget, the budget you're working with a year is a lot. But also keep in mind, like if you get a golf membership, that's way more than that. Like if you have any sort of hobby, whether it's like going to the movies regularly or going out to eat regularly, a dinner and a movie on a weekly basis, that also adds up very quickly as well. So if all you do is play game and you do nothing else, $100 a week might not actually be too much. Again, not encouraging you to spend beyond your means. Really, it's your money. You know your disposable level of income. All I'm trying to do is just tell you, if you're trying to budget to your money's worth, this is the amount that you should be looking at. Now, in terms of hero selection chests, you also sometimes see non-limited hero selection chests, and I'll price them also at $40. I'll price them at $40 for the good heroes, because sometimes you do get really good heroes, and I find this is a way cheaper way of getting a hero that you want. For example, DMU Indra comes around on these chests a lot. Popper, Ronai, we see Dez and Bethany a lot. Some of these really good heroes, like recently we have the event right now, and this is basically a steal, right? When we look at the adventure event here, basically for using the supply card, this was $30, and we're going to be able to get IMR Candle, or if you chose Indra. So that's why I got it, because this is a steal. This is also a decent deal. For $20 and 3 of these, in case you missed, a day doing your quest, saving yourself, getting yourself 20 extra will help you finish and get your hero of choice. So that's kind of worth it because it's below that threshold. Most of these chests usually priced out around $40. In actuality, when you're actually getting them in these deals, what ends up happening most of the time is they will be like the first one here, priced around $49, and you'll get a bunch of some other gear and other stuff to make up for it. But that's usually the time where you'll grab it, and they're usually coming around $40. So if you're planning to get a hero of choice and you don't want to get it through Miracle Summons right away, you can wait. One of these hero chests is going to come around for sure. It's going to get the hero that you want, and you can get it for $40 instead of blowing your money away on Miracle Runes. Echoes. Echoes are actually not as impactful as heroes for sure. Most of you realize that. And this is also the reason why, because the way that I priced it out here, I still have not done the beginner wish on Echoes on either of my accounts. All right. So there are two Echoes, advanced pool and free pool. The free ones, honestly, these ones I would say they're worth, $10 max. In fact, we often get these ones that we don't want. But getting to be able to choose the one you actually need is helpful. So I value it at $10. The advanced one's maybe just worth a little bit more. The upscale pool and the ultimate pool is the same. I will value these at around $40 because, one, they don't come around as much. Some of them you really want to stack it up. and to be able to summon it, sometimes you need 3 pities to get to it, so it gets very expensive. So that's why, even once you start looking over here where I priced out the Echo Runes, valuing these as $40 makes, a good amount of sense there, as you trying to figure out, is a pack worth it or not. And the next is equipment selection chest. There's a lot of traps around equipment selection. You got to be really careful. So for example, the one that we see right now is decent. Okay, the one in this path. When you see equipment selection chests where they give 2 subs, that's really valuable. But still remember, there's still a rolling component. You could get 2 subs, but then the roll completely goes sideways. So, I always don't value equipment selection chests that much. They're more impactful early on. The more you buy, the diminishing value it has. So I would say for an early game player, you could value it at as high as $8 per piece. So like $30 for a full devouring set early on with 2 subs. Yeah, that's probably worth it. But as you get to late game, I would say their value drastically diminish as you have better and better gear, and the marginal improvement for buying these things go down drastically. So I would say, end game players shouldn't value it more than $2 a piece. That's how I look at it. Now sometimes we got B selection chests, and this is sort of like, able to pick a pet. Pets are still more expensive than limited heroes, believe it or not. Pet is a really pay to win aspect of the game, and they're not that impactful. So that's why I say, always get your limited heroes before you get your pets. Only when you have gotten all the limited heroes and all the stuff you want before you start looking into pets. Right? The upside of pets is they can be used in any team composition, so there isn't no limit around them. So like, having Bambi around, really helps. That's the deer mythic beast, by the way. We call it Bambi because it's a little deer, looks like a little deer. Anyways, and then sometimes you get the special equipment selection chest. I would say this is very whale content, and it's not for the majority of us, especially if you're building a brand new account. On the Kraken account, of course, I'm maxing out all these spirit beasts just because I finish all the other stuff. Now we moved on blessing selection chest. I'm talking about the A selection chest here. Sometimes you get the S selection chest from the super mega Kraken spending event. The majority of us would not be able to get those ones because those are usually reserved for people who spend a lot of money, and they get them for a spending event, like spending real money event. So most of us will have access to only the A mythic ones. And really the amount of stat you're missing out on is not a lot. So really almost getting a S tier mythic is kind of like a flex of how much money you can spend. A is more than good enough. And I would say with, again, this is a typical example, where we see in the supply store, this is $20 and you get one of these, right? But also if you think about the value of how we're pricing out these packs, you're getting 1, 2, 3 of these. So if you value them even at $20 each or $15 each, that's already $45 worth of value. You got a hero selection chest and Echo here. So $120 for that. $120 plus the 45, you're already $165. Plus you're getting, 2 sets of gear, a first set, 8 set, and a devouring set. Of course, it's money's worth. It's just only if you need all of these things, right? If you feel like you don't need any of these things, then it's not money's worth. Because of course, the first one, you do have a feather set, which is not as valuable, even though you get two subs for it, and you get some summons. You do need to spend 180 in total. So you really have to look at the pack as a total and decide, whether it's worth it or not for you. I didn't plan well. If I had 180 vouchers, I would have bought it. But like I said, I'm not going to put any money onto this account simply because I want to keep tabs easily on how much has been invested in this account. So that's why, I'm being very disciplined here. But I would buy this if otherwise. Rune selection chest. This used to be super expensive, and I will tell you back then people used to, get them from here. Like you will get legendary rune selection chest here, and people literally will buy it this way to get their legendary, Arena Dominance Aura. And it was super expensive. It was like $200 something per. Nowadays, instead of $20 per, like these packs, because this is the same, right? If you look at the selection, this is exactly the same what you get in one of these chests. And I'll say they're worth $2 now. Like whether you see it on good deals or you see it in the black market, typically these things are worth $2 now. It's a tenth of it what used to cost people. So that's how much you should value it when you see it. Advanced skill scrolls in early game, they're very rare. And if you do see it, you can value it at about $1.05 every time you see it, or even around $1. When you get to end game, this is not very useful. On my Kraken account, I have like 200-300 of these laying around because there's no heroes left for me to build. Same thing with 5-star dragon eggs. And I would say you shouldn't value more at more than 75 cents per, because we can farm these really easily now with double dragon eye all the time. Sorry, dragon egg drops all the time. So it's really just worth 900 energy. And I priced it the same out as how much I priced out energy over here. So if you ever see eggs in pack, just remember they're worth no more than 75 cents each. Don't, unless you're really desperate, you'd be willing to pay for more for that early on in the early game. But later on, like you're flooded with these, you don't need to build more heroes after your sanctuary's maxed out. So 75 cents is where it's at. Early game, I would say superior dragon scale, just because it's harder to get. I'll value at $10. Once you're able to get 2 every week, which majority of the late game players are able to do through Wuthering Coast, they're worth no more than $5. I will even value them a little bit less if you mostly have like multiple sets of mythic gear already. I will value these normal ones either at a tenth of it or even less, is where I'll value those. Over to Legendary Phantom Dragoneye. This is one item that actually really preserved its price tag, because you always need Legendary Dragon Phantom Eyes. You can get them one every 50 of summons. So that's why you can see 50. This also preserves the value of summons, right? When Hero Quest finish, you can buy one for $40. So sometimes if you buy all the good deals, you can get a free one. I would value Phantom Dragon Eyes because we never get good deals on them. So 40 is a fair price to pay for these. And they are the cost of just getting another copy of a hero, because it's much better to just buy a Legendary Dragon Phantom Eye. You get a lot more flexibility as opposed to trying to get another copy of a hero, right? Because they're so valuable and universal. That's why they preserve their price, and people have always bought it. When it comes to Miracle Runes, I showed you the lowest denomination of cost, and this is kind of the benchmark where I priced some of the consumables. Here you can see, special pack. This is $1 for 4. The other place where I say it's a good place to pick up a bunch of them is I usually buy this championship. And for Championship Pass, you get 30 of these, right? 30 of these Miracle Summons for $10, but you get a bunch of other stuff along the way. So this is the only other place where, I will consider getting it. But that's kind of like the cheapest pack for Miracle Runes you can get. Once you go into, sorry, keep clicking the wrong place here. Once you go into the value packs for this, the ratio is already, this is like 3 per $1, so that'll be 33 cents as opposed to 25. So 25 cents per Miracle Rune is where I'll price it for money's worth. Supreme Room, I'll keep it at $1 each. This also means we often get events where we don't have one on right now, but sometimes we have a holiday event, a holiday path where you spend $20 to get some extra Miracle Supreme Rooms. That is one I tell people to always avoid. That is not money's worth. Simply because Supreme Runes are not as valuable as that. Now, some people like to think Supreme Runes are worth, 10 times the cost of Excellent Rune just from pity-wise. I don't know if I agree with that. I value Excellent Rune maybe at a 1-to-6 conversion rate to 1-to-8 conversion rate, simply because Excellent Rune is a great way of getting fodder. And, they gradually add up, right, in terms of food, as opposed to Supreme Summon doesn't provide that. So I'll usually do it at a 1-to-8 conversion or 1-to-6 conversion. Maybe 1-to-6 a little bit high. Maybe this should be like a 1-to-7 conversion in my mind, because they really should be they're relatively cheap. Always buy miracle runes. Excellent runes is worth a lot less. Actually, you know what I almost want to do? I almost want to do 1 to 8 because they're we can buy these relatively cheap, right? Because sometimes they pop up for like 80 gems in the shop too, right? So I'll just do 1 to 8. Let's do 1 to 8. And because their value is just not as high and they're so easy to get. So let's do 1 to 8. Diamonds, I benchmark these off of miracle runes. So 600 diamonds, 150 is always equal to 1 miracle rune is generally how I look at it. And sometimes you can get a little bit more than that, but this is kind of the base conversion rate I'll look at. So if you ever see gems you want to convert it to what's the money worth according to that, it's worth about $1. At $600 per gem, this is why I say if you ever try to buy diamonds here, 600 for $1, right? 500, 600 for $1. This is just not money's worth. Like it needs to be a tenth of this price to get anywhere close to money's worth. That's why I also said, everything I priced here to roughly 1,000% discount, which is typically what we see nowadays for a deal that's worth it. This conversion stone is for mythic heroes. We get these maybe once or twice a year. Usually we get these when there's a huge event going on or a new mythic hero gets released. We get a free copy. I think you get 1 or 2 when you start the game. I know 1 for sure is in the book. I still have 1. So, and on my other account, I think I have 2. I never bought any, and I used 1. So you get at least a few of these for free. If you follow the guides, you never have to use these. So I don't know. If you have to get 1, it is very expensive, but you really don't need to get them. So that's why I'm just like, it's either 0 or 99. So I just put question marks there. Regression potions, you can buy 1 every month for 1,000 gems. You're given a ton early game. And from time from holidays, we're always given these. So I feel like they're either worth like $1.05 just from the gem conversion piece. But this is also something you rarely use. Then it comes to the typical resources for energy. And here's where I say, advanced energy glass and the Spirit Beast energy are worth a little bit more just simply because they need to be purchased or harder to get. Premium hero potion, you get to a point of somewhere you don't need these anymore. And if you just simply get, like for me, right? If you actually just get the monthly pass, like I think it was only in the very first 3 weeks where I had more fodder for heroes than I could actually level them up. I'm already at a point where these are accumulating and I'm not able to use them up. So as much as you can value at $1 for 10, they're kind of worthless at some point in the, like this is one of those resources that you easily get excess of. But in terms of energy hourglass and Spirit Beast, it's really hard to level a level Echo Foley to 30, and it does take a lot to get a beast to 60. So you always are kind of a bit short on these once you start using Echoes and Beasts. So that's why they still have some value in it. Finally, for stamina, these are based on the pricing of 100 gems for 2,000 for 200 stamina. So that's why I say, it's really not worth it. Like to buy stamina, maybe the battle passing here, if you think about it, the big value actually in a battle pass is the stamina, right? Now they have added some extra things in here, which makes it a little bit more valuable. But before they added this and added, the Superior Dragon scale, buying the battle pass at some point was actually even not worth it anymore because all it really provided was just a lot of extra energy. So now the battle order, I think, is still, worth it. So yeah, I think that covers all the items in the game. If you don't agree with any of these, you feel like I underpriced or overpriced any of these, or if you feel like, you've totally valued them differently, let me know in the comments below. More than happy to, or if there's something, an item that I forgot about, please let me know, right? I think I cover most of the deals. We talked about each special pack, like these ones are usually worth it. I think that's it. I mean, when these events come up, right? So this is kind of how we price it. So I would not waste the time to actually, I wouldn't spend the time to say that, hey, I am going to add up all the items in here and to see if it's money's worth. I'll just focus on some of the key things. So for example, for $30 to get a IMR candle, yeah, that's already money's worth, right? Or if I look at the supply card, okay, so this is $15, this is $3. Yeah, so this is kind of break even to me, even though they say it's 5,000%. So this is also where I don't always just look at what the percentage is. It doesn't necessarily translate into a good deal. And just like the example I gave earlier, this is why I don't think I'll ever summon the legendary echo, just because throughout buying these different chests, I am going to get enough echo selection chests to get the echoes I want, and not having to spend $100 here. So on this count, I probably never will summon this, just because it's not money's worth. All right, so hope you enjoy the content. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time. Gandalf out.